Hi everyone, today I would like to introduce you about the quota control configuration and the limited punishment channel in the IAM version 11. First of all, I would like to introduce you about the quota control features in the IAM 11 and also the limited bandwidth channel. There are a total of 5 main quota control features in the IAM version 11. Which are the flow quota, online duration quota, bandwidth, concurrent connection, and the last one is the online endpoints. So for the flow quota, the function is to limit the daily or monthly flow caused by the single user accessing the internet through the IAM device. For online duration quota, the function is to limit the online duration of a single user in a specific time period. The third one is the bandwidth, which is to examine the bandwidth usage of a single user in a specific period of time. If the user exceeds the bandwidth in that period of time continuously, the punishment or warning will be given. In the concurrent connection features, it is to limit the number of concurrent connections made by the single user, especially during the P2P connection. So the last one is about the online endpoint, which is to limit the number of endpoints online. So for the limited bandwidth channel, it is to enable you to limit the maximum amount of bandwidth allowed for the packets that match the channel. So this is the example network topology that we are going to apply the quota control as well as a punishment channel. So the following are the user group that we are going to apply the quota control on them from this IAM device. So basically, there are 4 steps of the configuration, which are to set out the virtual line, to enable the bandwidth management, the third step is to enable the limited bandwidth channel, and the last step is to add the quota control. So for the first step, we are going to set out the virtual line for the IAM device. After we log into the IAM device, select the bandwidth management, and then select the virtual line. Click on the line 1 button to edit the outbound and also the inbound bandwidth. So for this example, if your ISP speed package is 20 MB per second, you may set your outbound and also the inbound bandwidth to 20 MB per second each. After configure the value, hit on the commit button to apply the changes. In the step 2, we need to make sure that the bandwidth management system is ticked. So we can go to the bandwidth management and then select the bandwidth channel. And then make sure that the option of enable bandwidth management system is ticked. Now we are in the step 3. We need to add a limited bandwidth channel to apply our own rules. So we can click on add and then select add limited bandwidth channel. We need to make sure that the enable option is already ticked. And then we can provide a name for this limited bandwidth channel. In the channel sessions, we are going to set the bandwidth for the user or user group which exceeds the quota given as a punishment. So in this example, we are going to reduce the bandwidth for both the outbound and also the inbound bandwidth to 1 MB per second if the user has exceeded the quota set. Besides that, we are optional to enable the maximum bandwidth per user. For example, when the quota is reached, all the users within the bandwidth 1 MB per second bandwidth arrangement will only have limited outbound and also the inbound bandwidth of 384 KB per second. In the observed session, we need to define which applications will be affected under this limited channel rule. For example, if we select P2P, all those P2P software will have a limited speed as defined just now. But for illustration purpose, we will choose all applications. At the same time, we can schedule the time whereby this limited channel will take action. In the destination, we will define the IP groups which will be applied to this punishment channel. After we've done all the configuration, just hit on OK. And we can see that the limited bandwidth channel rule is already set. Now, the next step is to add and apply the quota control. So go to Access Management. Under the Access Management, select the policies. Click on Add, and then select Quota Control. In the quota control, make sure that the Enable option is ticked to apply the quota control rule. And then we can define the name for this quota control rule. So the first feature of quota control we are going to try is the flow quota. Click on flow quota and then select the start date of month whereby the quota will start to count. 11 here means we are going to start the flow quota on the 11th of December. The period for flow quota per user, we can select all day or the specific period of time that we wish. And then for application, we can select all applications or the specific application to record the quota usage. For here, we are going to select all applications to record down the quota usage. And here, we can define the daily quota for each user and also the monthly quota. In these sessions, we are going to define the punishment that will be imposed to a user when they reach the daily quota. So there are three options. The first one is to send an alert message to admin by email. And the second option is to remind the user. In this option, when the quota usage reaches the percentage that we define, there will be a pop-up page. So basically, this pop-up page will remind the user whereby their daily quota is about to use up. The third action is the other action. There are two options to apply, which is to apply the limited bandwidth channel or to reject the internet access. When we click on reject internet access, if the user reached the quota, they are unable to access the internet anymore. But here we are going to apply the limited bandwidth channel. So we are going to select the limited bandwidth channel that we have defined just now. After done configurations, go to Object, and then select the group of user that will have the effect on the quota control. So click on the IP group that are going to have this quota control, and then select Commit. In this example, we are going to apply the flow quota to the user starting from the 15th of December, and then with a daily quota of 100 MB. So if the user hits a maximum quota of 100 MB, we are going to apply the limited bandwidth channel to the user. So now we are going to observe what will happen when the user hits a maximum quota of 100 MB. And now the quota has been reached. And then we are going to see what will happen. As you can see, the download speed has been greatly reduced. And we are going to do a speed test to verify the result. And through the speed test, we can see is that the download speed and also the upload speed has been reduced to 384 kilobytes per second. And this shows that the flow quota has been applied to the user when they hit a maximum quota of 100 megabytes. Now we are going to look into the second feature of quota control that we can apply, which is the online duration quota. The duration quota per user can be set based on application or online duration. For application duration quota, we are able to limit the online duration for specific application. For example, we want to limit the online duration of YouTube for about 60 minutes. When a user browses YouTube for 60 minutes, the punishment will be imposed. This punishment option has been discussed earlier. In this scenario, we are going to limit the online duration of YouTube to 1 minute. If the online duration of the YouTube exceeded 1 minute, we are going to apply the limited bandwidth channel to the user, whereby their upload speed and also the download speed will limited to 384 kilobytes per second. So now we are going to observe what happened after the online duration of YouTube exceeded 1 minute. So as you can see, the download speed of the user already limited to around 384 kilobytes per second. And same goes to upload speed. And this has proved that the online duration quota has already applied to the user. On the other hand, for the online duration option, we are basically limiting the online duration of the user, and a similar punishment will be imposed when they reach the online duration quota. After we have done the configuration, go to the object and then select again the user group that we are going to impose the quota control. Then hit commit to apply the changes. So in this example, we are going to limit the online duration of the user to 1 minute, regardless of what application that he or she uses. So if the user exceeded the online duration of 1 minute, we are going to pop out a page to remind the user about the quota limitation. As you can see, after 1 minute, there's a pop-up page to remind the user about the quota limitation. The third feature of quota control rule is the bandwidth control. For each user, we can define the period of time whereby the bandwidth control will take action. And then we can limit the bandwidth based on the application that we want. So besides that, there are three options that we can choose from, which are the bidirectional, outbound, and also the inbound, for which we want to control the bandwidth. In this example, if the user reaches the maximum bandwidth of 1 MB per second for 5 minutes, the punishment will be imposed. There are three punishments here, and basically they are just the same as we have discussed just now. If we set the lockup period for 10 minutes, it means that the user won't be accessed to the internet for a period of 10 minutes as a punishment. After the 10 minutes, the user is able to reconnect to the web. So after the configuration done, hit on commit to apply the bandwidth control. In this bandwidth quota control example, we are going to show that when the user reaches a maximum bandwidth of 1 MB per second for a period of 5 minutes, we are going to remind the user about the bandwidth usage. And then the user will have a lockup period of 120 minutes, as well as the limited bandwidth channel will be applied to the user. And then we are going to observe what happened after the user reaches the maximum bandwidth of 1 MB per second for a period of 5 minutes. As you can see, after 5 minutes, the download speed has greatly reduced. As you can see from the speed test, the download speed and also the upload speed has been limited to 384 KB per second. And then there's a pop-up page to remind the user about the bandwidth quota control. In the concurrent connections control, if the user has a maximum connection of up to 200 connections, the punishment will be imposed. There are two punishments here, which can be either to reject a new connection or to reject the internet access of the user for the specific period of time that we want to define. After that, just select on commit to apply the concurrent connections control. In this example, as we can see, before we apply the concurrent connection control to the user is able to make more than 10 concurrent connections in order to download this torrent file. So we are going to observe what happens when we apply the concurrent connection control to the user, and we are going to limit the maximum connection to 5. And then if the threshold is reached, we are going to reject the internet access for 10 minutes. So now we are going to observe the changes after we apply the concurrent connection control. As you can see, the download process has been stopped, and there is no flow of internet connections. So we are going to verify the result by doing a ping test. Through the ping test result, we can see that the internet connection has been rejected. This is due to when the user exceeds the number of concurrent connections allowed in the IAM. So the last feature of the quota control is to limit the number of online endpoints. So in this example, we set the maximum endpoint per user to 5. If there are more than 5 endpoints, those users will not be able to access to the internet. Now we just select commit to apply the changes. So that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.